Midjourney Style Creator is a tool that helps you create a custom style. You pick images with characteristics you like, and through multiple rounds of refinement, Midjourney will create a custom style that you can reuse in future prompts. Today, I've got a full demo of the Style Creator, plus tips covering different approaches from exploratory to creating very specific styles. To get the most out of the Style Creator, I recommend having a basic understanding of Midjourney's style reference feature and the Style Explorer. I have videos on both of these, so if you need to go watch those first, I'll link them down in the pinned comment. To open the Style Creator, click Style Creator from the menu on the left. There are some basic instructions at the top here that you can read through. First, you'll type a prompt. And I recommend keeping it simple for your first time and not including any style language like photo or illustration, because then you'll get a better understanding of how your image selections affect your results. Down below, you'll see options to give the Style Creator a starting style description or an SREF code. We're going to skip that for the moment and come back to it later once we've got the basics covered. So I'm just going to use the prompt, a man wearing a black hat, and a 3:4 aspect ratio. If you want, you can also pick from one of your recent prompts down below. After you submit your prompt, you'll see a grid of images. This is actually a scrolling grid, which is one of the recent changes they made. If you've been using the old Style Creator, this new scrolling grid may take a few tries to get used to. But you may have already noticed that none of these images are a man wearing a black hat. These are pre-cached images that represent different SREF codes. These images are not created using your prompt. Let me explain what's happening here by going over to the Style Explorer for a second. In the Style Explorer, each SREF has a grid of pre-generated images that were created using the 8 prompts you see here on your screen. What I believe is happening behind the scenes is that when you give the Style Creator a prompt, it figures out which of these 8 prompts is the closest match, and then it shows you those pre-cached images. So if a dog is your input prompt, it's likely going to show you images made with the prompt animal. In my case, it's probably showing me the portrait images. So it's a little confusing at first, but this is a great way for Midjourney to use images that they already have available, and it means that we don't have to spend our fast hours generating a ton of images on the fly just to use the Style Creator. And what's really nice about this connection to the Style Explorer is that you can hover over the heart down here on any of these images, and it will show you the full SREF grid for that SREF code. Clicking the heart will add it to your likes over in the Style Explorer, and you can click these arrows to open up to see the full grid for that SREF. And just like in the Style Explorer, we also have the Try Style button here. So before you make any selections, the Style Creator runs a baseline job, basically showing you what your input prompt looks like with zero style influence. That's what this OG image is on the right. When you hover over it, it shows you the full image grid that was generated by your input prompt. So this is where your input prompt to the Style Creator is first used. You can click to pin it next to the grid. I'm going to leave it unpinned for now. Now that we have sort of a lay of the land, let's make a custom style. There are a few different approaches or strategies that you can take in the Style Creator, and for me, they can be grouped into 2 different approaches. One where you're just exploring without a clear goal, and another where you have a specific style that you want to develop. We're going to start with the more exploratory approach, and then later we'll go through other methods. With the exploratory approach, I want to pick any type of image that looks interesting to me. I have no specific goal in mind, really. I'm just going to pick things that I like and see what styles develop. Then scroll to load more styles. As you're scrolling and making your selections, Midjourney will automatically submit jobs to capture your most recent style selections. This is how it creates and refines your style. Each box over here represents 1 round of selection. As you're picking images, the active box will fill to show your progress. Once it's full, that triggers a job submission. Midjourney runs your prompt with a new style based on your updated selections. You can wait for that job to run and view the results by hovering here, or just keep scrolling and making more selections. New styles will load continuously, and your selections influence what you'll see in the next grid. There's no magic number for how many images to select per round. For early rounds, I like to try to pick at least 2 or 3 images. The box on the right will show you how many you have selected so far in that round, so you can keep track of them that way. So again, I'm just picking ones that look interesting to me. If you accidentally select an image that you don't want, you can just click it again to deselect it. Midjourney is using information from both the styles I select and the ones that I don't select. and it's creating a completely new style based on that information. It's not blending the SREFs that I'm selecting. It's making a new style based on how my selections are pushing and pulling within Midjourney style space. For best results, you want to complete at least 5 rounds of selection. You can keep track of how many rounds you've completed over on the right. Hover over any of the completed rounds to see the results. And at any time, you can also go to the Create page to see your results. Let's do that now that I've gone through several rounds. So on the Create page, here's that baseline job that was run using my input prompt. And these are the results from each round of style refinement that I completed. So you can see how there's quite a bit of variation within the first few jobs, and then it starts narrowing in or converging on a more specific style. You'll see less and less variation between each round. As I made more selections, Midjourney was able to refine my style based on what it thought I wanted. To use any of your new styles in a prompt, click the style tag over here to add the code to the prompt bar. This number is a custom SREF code which is linked to this style. I know it's a little confusing that it says style here instead of SREF. These code numbers should be used with the SREF parameter in your prompt, and you can share your new style codes with others and they can use them in their own prompts. So that's the basic demo. It does take some practice to get used to how the style creator works, especially this updated version that doesn't have the refine grid button anymore. I don't blame you if you're still a little confused at this point. I want to go through a couple more examples of different strategies to use with the style creator, and maybe that will help a little bit. But please drop any questions that you have down below. So the example that we just went through was very exploratory. I was simply picking images that looked interesting to me. But what if you have a specific style in mind? This is one area where I think the style creator becomes really powerful. So I want a simple black and white cartoon style. Let's see if we can get there. For this, I'll prompt for a cat, super simple, and then I'll click this new button that we have here to add a starting style description. Typing in a broad style is going to work best here, so I'll use black and white cartoon, then submit. Now you'll see that the grid starts off with styles that are more similar to that description that I provided. By giving it a style description, we're biasing the initial images that get shown to us in the grid. So it gives us an opportunity to select more relevant styles early on. And anytime you're working towards a specific style, I recommend breaking the style down into specific components. For mine, I know that I want an illustration, simple structure, black and white, bold lines, and a slightly cartoonish appearance. It's unlikely that I'll come across a style in the grid here that meets all of those criteria right away and in a way that I like visually. So what you want to do is pick styles that look like they're headed in the right direction. Maybe you find a simple cartoon illustration style, but it's in color instead of black and white. Or you find a black and white illustration style where the lines are a bit sketchier than you want, but the cartoonish features are there. As you continue to scroll, the grid will update based on the selections that you're making. The more black and white illustrations you select, the more you'll see. And don't forget that you can look at the full SREF grid for any of these styles to get a better sense of what you might be selecting for. Some SREFs are flexible, meaning that they can produce multiple mediums, such as photographic images and illustrations, so it's always good to double check what you're selecting. Over on the Create page, you can see how the styles progressed and changed through each round of refinement. The OG or baseline job is a bit different compared to the first example that we went through, because it actually runs with a new style applied to it instead of with no style. When you give the style creator a style description, it looks like it creates a new style just based on your description, and that becomes your new baseline. There's still some variation during the first few rounds, but nothing compared to what we saw in the first example, and I think that's because our starting point is a more narrowed style already. After completing a few rounds, you can see it transforming into more of a simple black and white cartoon illustration style, and I can reuse any of these styles in my prompts. So the key here is keeping the specific style that you want in mind as you're making those selections. It's really easy to get distracted by all of the other nice looking SREFs in the style creator. If you see things that you like that are not relevant for the style you're trying to create, just click the heart to save them for later. Also make sure that you're completing at least a minimum of 5 rounds, but when you are trying to create a specific style like this, I really recommend completing at least 8 to 10. Next, another way to use the Style Creator is by providing a starting style code. So this would be an SREF code number that you can find in the Style Explorer, and it must be one that is available in the Style Explorer. I won't go through a full example with this approach because the process is a bit similar to the last example, but here's an SREF code that produces this kind of kids drawing style with blue and tan colors. I pasted that in and submitted it with an astronaut prompt. And you can sort of see that the first set of images in the grid leans more toward drawing styles and the blue and tan colors. Not all of them, but the influence is somewhat noticeable. So providing the SREF code biases that first set of images. I do wish the similarity of these first images to the input SREF code was a bit stronger. It seems like biasing using the text description works a little bit better than using an SREF code, but my recommendation for selecting images is still the same. If you have a specific style in mind, break that style down into components and then choose images that help move you in the right direction. With this next approach, you're developing an aesthetic that is going to be a blend of a new style created by the Style Creator and any style-related parameters that you have in your input prompt, whether it's a style reference, a mood board, and/or a personalization profile. To understand the difference between these three and when you should use each, be sure to watch this video. For this example, I'm going to use a mood board in my input prompt for the Style Creator. This is my mood board, which I've named Photographic Bronze. You're welcome to use it in your own prompts. And I'll use this prompt, Street Style Portrait of a Person, with a 3:4 aspect ratio and my mood board. Then in the Style Creator, I'm just going to pick images that either look interesting to me or have some sort of stylistic element that I think might complement my mood board. I'll stick with photographic or photorealistic style images. My mood board contains photographic images and I want to stay in that space. And again, you'll want to complete at least 5 rounds of selection, which is what I'm doing here. After several rounds, go to the Create page where it's a little easier to view the results. This is the baseline or OG job that was run using my input prompt with the mood board. Then we have the results from round 1, 2, and so on. You can see that the mood board was included in every job, but so was a new style code. These results are blends of the style-related parameters in my input prompt and a new style made by the Style Creator based on my image selections. So this can be a really fun way to take a style that you really like in a new direction. The only catch is that to reproduce this style in future prompts, you must include all of the style components in your prompt. So in my case, that means that I have to make sure that I include both the mood board and the new SREF code in my prompts. Here are a few more tips to help you get the most out of the Style Creator. First, consider turning on relax mode in your settings before you start if that's an option for you. This will keep you from burning through your fast hours. Your jobs will run more slowly, but I typically don't wait around for one Style Creator job to complete before making selections for the next round. So relax mode works great for me because I can just go through, make a bunch of selections, and then go review all of the jobs over on the Create page when they're complete and figure out where I want to go from there. Next, I mentioned this earlier, but it's worth reiterating. When you're making your selections, I highly recommend looking at the full SREF grid for an image before you select it. Sometimes the image that you're shown isn't necessarily the best representation of what that style is capable of. You'll get a better idea by looking at the full grid. If you like keyboard shortcuts, you can enable hotkeys in the Style Creator, then use number keys to select images and arrow down to scroll. If you're in the middle of a session and you want to start a new one with the same prompt, you can click Reset Session. To start a new one with a different prompt, click End Session. You can start a new Style Creator session from any job on the Create page by clicking Style Creator. It will use your full prompt as the input. So if you have style references, personalization, or a mood board in your prompt, the effects of the new style will be blended with the other parameters in your prompt, just like in the mood board example that I shared earlier. Style Creator styles can be used with V7 and the new Niji 7 model. You can even submit Niji 7 prompts directly to the Style Creator. So if you're trying to create a style for your Niji 7 images, you still have to select from images that were made using the V7 model, but the output style results will be shown using your Niji 7 prompt. Style Creator styles and the SREF codes that you see in the Style Explorer should work with the V8 model when it's released. The Style Creator is just another tool to help us build and explore aesthetics with Midjourney. I think it's really powerful once you get used to it and understand how it works. Please comment any questions that you have down below. I'm happy to answer them. And if you found this video helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and maybe even joining my Patreon community. Every month, I release detailed prompt guides, exclusive tutorials, and demos of new features. Last month's guide focused on changing camera angles with Omni references and creating characters with unique eyes. I'm also getting closer to releasing my first Midjourney course, which I'm really excited about. So if you like my teaching style, consider at least joining the free tier on Patreon. I'll be sharing more about the course with my community in the coming weeks. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.